Okay, Hare Krishna. Arsha, you can start whenever you're ready. Arushi, before we start, we spend a few minutes doing one mala, one japa mala, 108 times chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So if you don't have your beats, you can chant without the beats. Okay, I shall let you know.
Should I start? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Recording in progress.
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मायं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे
Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. So we've planned a little quiz, also a little summarized version of everything that we've covered in the past few months. I'll just share my screen and then we can get started. Okay. Can you see my screen properly? Okay, just a second. Okay. So the first question for everyone is that why did Krishna choose a battlefield as the setting for speaking the Bhagavad Gita? So we'll just be asking questions. Whoever wants to answer can unmute themselves and answer, and then we can read together also. In this way, we can summarize everything that we've covered till now. Anyone can read. Yes, Mark.
It is a great simile to the battles that we will face in our everyday life. And through the Bhagavad Gita, he tells us how to fight those battles and tackle different situations.
Okay, awesome. Anyone wants to add anything? Yes, Ayana.
So it's metaphorical in the sense that Arjun's battle is in front of him, but what we face every single day is within us. So whatever his moral dilemma is and everything that he's going to do is right in front of him. But what we face is very internal. So in that sense, the battlefield is a metaphor.
Okay. Awesome. Very nice. Anything? Anyone else? You can just keep on adding things also. It can just be like a conversation. Something you agree with, something you don't agree with. Anything.
Krishna ji stopped the chariot right in front of his guru, who gave him the gyan of weapons, symbolizing his material things, and the guru who raised him, symbolizing his personal life, so as to properly put Arjun in conflict. Here are both the things that you will value the most in life, but now you have to choose me and do as I have said.
Okay. So Smart, can you only read it for us? You both of you said the right thing with just getting it exactly from Bhagavad Gita. From whenever Krishna does something.
Whenever Krishna does something, he accomplishes many purposes simultaneously. Krishna chose to speak the Bhagavad Gita to his devotee and friend Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra for a number of reasons. Krishna's purpose in coming to the material world is to deliver his devotees from the anxieties of material existence, annihilate those who disturb the universal order, and to re-establish principles of religion. His choice of Kurukshetra for speaking the Bhagavad Gita accomplished all three of these. Krishna's choice of Kurukshetra as a setting for speaking the Bhagavad Gita is also noteworthy for its extremity. The violence and scale of human loss there was tremendous, and it would be hard to conceive of a more intense scene. Arjuna's questions and Krishna's answers on the nature of reality itself could not have taken place at a more great moment, proving to the rest of us if it's possible to be perfectly God conscious in the midst of a gigantic battle. It's certainly possible to think of Krishna in a less stressful situation.
Okay. Moving on. The next question. Name the 5 rasas that we have been talking about. Maybe with
So
an
there's the Shantras, which means you just want to be an object at the feet of the Lord, just say a flower at his feet. Or then there is Dasras, which is you want to be a servant of the Lord, for example, Hanumanji. Then you have Madhurya Ras, which is love, affection towards the Lord, to say Radharani. Then we have Vatsalya Ras, which is parental affection, which can be Dashrath, Maharaj, Yashoda Mata, all of those people. And the last one is Sakhya Ras, which is as a friend, for example, Arjun.
Okay. 10 on 10 in your language. Very good. Just Pankari read the second half. Every living being.
Every living being has a particular relationship with God, Swarup. By devotion, we can revive our Swarup. This is called Swarup Siddhi. After hearing Gita, Arjun accepted Krishna as Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahman, Param Dham, abode of everything. Pavitram, he is pure, untainted by material contamination. Purusham, supreme enjoyer. Shashvatam, original. Divyam, transcendental. Adi Devam, supreme personality of Godhead. Ajam, unborn. And Vibhum, greatest.
Okay. Next, very, very important question. What are the 5 basic truths according to Gita? The entire Gita is written on the basis of these 5 basic truths. This was mentioned in the introduction.
This can also be the 5 topics, the main topics which are covered in Bhagavad Gita, the 5 protagonists. It's just think it's not very difficult, like.
Is it Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga?
No. I'll give you a hint. Ishwar, number 1. Then what else?
The
I
soul
think-
is eternal.
Sorry?
The soul is eternal.
बेसिक पे जाओ, डीप में नहीं. इंट्रोडक्शन में बताया था 5.
I think it was Ishwar, Prakriti, Karma, Kal, and I've forgotten the fifth one. No. Ishwar, Prakriti, Karma, Kal, Paramatma?
अपने आप को भूल गए? जीव.
Oh, Jeev, sorry.
और जीव क्या करता है? कर्म.
Okay. Yeah, Pankaj, you're right. 5 basic truths or 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita are Ishwar, who is the supreme controller, Jivas, the controlled living entities, Prakriti, the material nature, time, the duration of existence, and karma activity, out of which the initial 4 are eternal in nature. Okay. Arsha, can you just read the first half? Krishna can be understood.
Krishna can only be understood by devotion and by his devotees. He can only be understood in a submissive spirit, or else he remains a mystery. Every activity of a being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of Absolute. People who question about suffering, where they come from and where they shall go after death, about the creator and the creation and the true purpose of life are the proper students of Gita. Krishna comes to re-establish purpose of life when man forgets the purpose. Arjun was put into ignorance on the battlefield for the benefit of us.
Okay. The next question, what do you mean by Satchitananda? And do not complicate it, just the basic meaning. Don't go to the depth of it. Satchitanand. And maybe different people can go. Yeah.
जिसमें मन से आनंद मिले, kind of.
Sat means eternal, Chit means consciousness, Anand means bliss.
Okay.
Satchitanand, if I break it.
Yeah, awesome. Shalini, can you read this for us?
Bhagwan is Satchit Anand. Sat, truth, absolute being or existence, that which is enduring and unchanging. Chit, consciousness, understanding and comprehension. Anand, bliss, a state of pure happiness, joy and sensual pleasure. Because we are spirit soul, our position is Anandmaya. Anandmaya means always blissful. We are nothing but part and parcel of God. In 15.7, Krishna says all these living entities, they are my part and parcel. So if Krishna is Satchit Anand, then we are also Satchit Anand because we are a part. All we have to remember is the part is never equal to the whole, but quality remains the same. A small screw of typewriter or any machine must remain with the whole machine. Then it has value. If it is out of the machine, then there is no value. Our true value lies in the service of Sri Krishna and with Sri Krishna.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we come to Bhagavad Gita. Who spoke the first verse? Okay, you can raise your hand, but don't say anything. Yes, Arpita.
Dhritarashtra.
Okay, and what was the first verse?
So he was concerned about what is happening in the battlefield. So he asked Sanjay to describe him what was going on there. So that's what this was.
Okay, and anyone who would want to recite the first verse if you remember it? Except Ayana Pankhuri. Okay, Ayana, go.
I don't know the meter of it, but I'll just say it. So, Dharm Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsava, Mamaka Pandavas Cheva, Kim Akurvata Sanjaya.
Okay.
Am
And
I
Mataji, you want to
pronunciation
add
right?
something?
Dhritarashtra Vacha I missed. But
No, yeah, you said the right thing. I'm saying, Mataji, you want to add something before I go to the next slide?
No. I just wanted to say that whenever we talk in for Bhagavad Gita, what does this particular verse say? Rather than the meaning, we should all try and summarize at least the important verses and speak as it is what Krishna has spoken, because then it will come at the right time in our mind. You know, the words spoken by the Lord. Translations can be concocted, and we are very good at making our own interpretation and changing them in our mind. But if we remember the verse, then meaning will not change for us. So this is one thing
Oh,
that I would request everybody
can
to learn. Yes, Amarth.
can I add? Yeah, okay. The thing about first verse that struck me the most was, what are my sons and Pandu ke sons doing there, and not just वहाँ battlefield में क्या हो रहा है, मेरे बेटे क्या कर रहे हैं और पांडु के बेटे क्या कर रहे हैं.
So पहले ही डिवीजन कर दिया ना. भगवत गीता हम कहते हैं ना कि it will become, anybody who's listening to Bhagavad Gita with the right intention will get the essence without doing anything. Because but now for a person like Dhritarashtra, उनकी intention Bhagavad Gita सुनना ही नहीं है. उनकी intention ये war में क्या हो रहा है, like you know, then he will not be able to get the result of hearing Bhagavad Gita. तभी उनको बहुत end में विदुर को जाके हिला के बोलना पड़ा कि समझो ये किस लिए बोली गई है. So good observation, Samar.
Okay. Sonal, do you want to read?
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्र कुरुक्षेत्र समवेत युयुत्स्व ममका पांडवाश्चैव किम अकुर्वत Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
Okay. Why is Dhritarashtra asking what did they do? I mean, isn't it obvious? Why is he asking? Arushi, you can also participate. I know you know a little about Bhagavad Gita. So if you want to answer, you can. Or if you want to listen, you can. Anything. Yes. Yeah. I'm waiting for others. Anyone? Sonal, Anchal, Harsha? Okay, smart.
Okay, so even till the last second, he had hoped that something other than battle might happen, कि पाकिस्तान से वो कुछ संधि कर दें, because he knew कि Kurukshetra is Dharam Kshetra, and Dharam पांडवों की side है, so my sons are certain to die. So even till the last moment, he was hoping कि कुछ तो वो संधि कर लें.
कुछ भी हो जाए, battle टल जाए और सब सही रहे. Yeah, perfect. Dhritarashtra was blind both materially and spiritually. How? I remember Shriya asked this question when Gita classes started. So, why was he blind both materially and spiritually? Anything, you can answer in your own language also for now, and then we can read the proper meaning. Anything? Harsha, you want to try? No? Think about it. Sonal? In your own language, anything. Why do you think he was blind materially and spiritually? Yes, Shiva.
I'm not sure, just I'm trying. Materialistically because वो देख नहीं सकते थे, and spiritually because वो इस चीज में differentiate नहीं कर पा रहे थे कि क्या चीज ठीक है क्या गलत है, या वो सही चीज को देखना नहीं चाह रहे थे. Like apart from this कि मेरे जो like कौरव जो है वही right होंगे और पांडव नहीं होंगे, तो वो उस difference को नहीं समझ पा रहे थे.
Yes, you're correct. Can you read it for us now? Very good.
Dhritarashtra's blindness physically, his blindness being physical, was the most selfish event evident. The prevented himself from ascending the throne and left him with the unfulfillable craving lifelong. The Bhagavad Gita's star 1.1 points to his blindness, as he could not see. He had to ask Sanjay for the battlefield report. Duryodhana's blindness. He has functional eyes, but his greed for the kingdom and envy towards the Pandavas blinded him. He could not see any good in Pandavas or even the good in Krishna, the all benevolent divine. He stayed blind to his own self-interest when Krishna personality come to him, offering peace on the most accommodating of the term. Even in preparing for the Kurukshetra war, he could not see that Krishna factor would decisively disturb all his elaborate material calculations. Krishna's non-combatant role in the Kurukshetra battlefield mirrors God's role in this world.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. So Dhritarashtra, what does Dhritarashtra mean? I think we have discussed that. Anybody remembers? Yes, Samarth.
अपने प्रॉपर्टी को, अपने राष्ट्र को सीने से लगा के रखने वाला, that he is the personification of us holding on to our material belonging. Dhrit means
So,
holding,
yeah.
Rashtra.
Dhrit means to hold and Rashtra means country. So somebody, हम उनको material और spiritually blind बोल रहे हैं, तो उनके नाम के positive connotation भी है, negative भी है. Positive means that he wants to maintain the Rashtra in spite that of his inability, that he is blind. है ना, ये तो हुई positive. और negative हुई कि he is so blind that he wants to hold on to the country in spite of understanding that he is incapable. So दोनों ही positive और negative connotation है धृतराष्ट्र की. ऐसे ही I don't know who asked me कि दुर्योधन का actually मतलब literal जो निकल कर आता है a bad fighter, but why would a parent call his child a bad fighter? But actually दुर्योधन का भी positive connotation यही है, somebody who's very difficult to fight with. Similarly, Dushashan ka bhi aise hi hai. Shasan means discipline. So Dushashan means somebody who's not disciplined. But again, Dhritarashtra would not have called his son completely indisciplined. Uski bhi ek positive connotation ye banti hai कि he who disciplines the bad. So ये नामों का ना it's very important to understand कि एक एक character के नाम का मतलब क्या है इसमें. For example, Sanjay. Anybody knows what is the meaning of Sanjay? Yeah.
Sanjay means one who cannot be, one who's always victorious.
Completely victorious. Jay means victory and Sam means complete. Sam आता है ना, Sam Kirtan. कीर्ति मतलब भगवान की ग्लोरी, Sam मतलब complete glorification of the Lord. Sam Kirtan करते हैं. So Sanjay. So बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग ये सारे वो हैं. युधिष्ठिर, what do you think could?
जो
Yes.
युद्ध में स्थिर हो.
Yes. युद्ध में नहीं, युद्धि मतलब the battlefield. Who's equipoised and स्थिर in युद्ध battlefield. वो युधिष्ठिर है, क्योंकि battlefield में क्या क्या हो रहा होता है, तभी बोलते हैं ना कि उनको हमेशा धर्म के साथ कोरिलेट करते थे, बिकॉज युद्ध बैटलफील्ड में हो रही होती है प्रोवोकेशन. People are inciting you, people are insulting you, they are throwing weapons at you, and at that time you're sthir. So the one who's equipoised at a battlefield is Yudhishthir. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. According, yes, Sarvakya.
फर्स्टली प्लीज मुझे बता दो मेरी आवाज ठीक से आ रही है?
आपकी आवाज बिल्कुल ठीक से आ रही है.
हाँ, तो मैं बस यहाँ पे एक चीज बोलना चाहता था ये कि हमने हमेशा से धृतराष्ट्र के कैरेक्टर में ये देखा है कि उसने हमेशा अपनी मटेरियल ब्लाइंडनेस को ब्लेम किया है हर चीज के लिए, कि मतलब मेरा अगर पुत्र आज दुर्योधन को अगर क्यों राजा बनना चाहिए, क्योंकि मैं ब्लाइंड था, इस वजह से मेरे छोटे भाई को बना दिया गया था। अगर मैं नहीं होता तो आज दुर्योधन ही राजा बन रहा होता। पर ये चीज मतलब उसने हर जगह से अपनी ब्लाइंडनेस को एक एक डिफरेंशिएटिंग फैक्टर बताया है और हमेशा उसको एज अ पॉइंट प्रूव करना चाहे। पर यही अगर हम सूरदास जी से सीखना चाहें तो हमें कितना कुछ सीखने को मिल सकता है कि वो जन्मजात अंधे थे, उनको कुछ भी नहीं दिखता था, पर वो स्पिरिचुअली इतने ज्यादा इंक्लाइंड थे श्री कृष्ण की तरफ कि जब वो मंदिर जाते थे और मंदिर में जब भगवान का श्रृंगार किया जाता था तो उनको बिना देखे ही पता लग जाता था कि भगवान ने आज क्या कपड़े पहने हैं। तो एक दिन की बात है, पंडित को भी मस्करी वहां सूझी, उनने भगवान को वस्त्र ही नहीं पहनाए, पत्तों में भगवान को ढक दिया। तो जैसे ही पर्दे हटे सूरदास जी ने देखा तो बोले कि अरे वाह, आज भगवान भी गरीब हो गए, पत्तों में आए हैं। तो मतलब हमें ये पता लगता है कि एक आपकी मटेरियल जो आपकी लिमिटेशंस हैं वो कभी भी आपका स्पिरिचुअली आपके इंक्लाइन होने का एक फैक्टर नहीं बनती हैं। हमें, क्योंकि मटेरियली तो हम वैसे भी कुछ नहीं है, तो हमें इन चीजों को सेपरेट रख के हमें भगवान का चिंतन करना चाहिए। थैंक यू।
Thank you for adding that. Okay. The next question, which was covered in chapter 1 only, we experience conflict as humans on 3 levels. What are the 3 levels?
Is it birth, old age, and death?
No.
Okay.
Those are the four miseries
Okay.
we experience as humans on a daily basis. We experience these conflicts at 3 levels. What are the 3 levels of conflict? Okay, Vishali, you only read.
Chapter 1, Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. The message of the first chapter of the Gita is this: the root cause of all sorrow and suffering in this world is our inability to deal with conflict. That is why the Gita was taught to Arjun in the middle of a gruesome battlefield with swords clanging, trumpets roaring, and soldiers screaming. Conflict is everywhere and we have to learn to handle it. The sooner we recognize this universal truth about conflict and its impact, the sooner we can progress in our personal, professional, and ultimately spiritual journey. We experience conflict at 3 levels: material, mental, and spiritual. At the material level, conflict is everywhere. Atoms collide against atoms, packs of wolves fight for control of territory, and we humans have disagreements with children, siblings, spouses, bosses, co-workers, states, and countries. To deal with conflict at the material level, we need to learn how to act and what to say in any situation.
Arushi, you want to read about the second conflict? Just reading.
In the second kind of conflict, how we conduct ourselves in material conflict is largely dependent on the state of our minds. When confronting the material conflict of battle, Arjun's rational mind was clear. He was a warrior and he had entered the battlefield to fight a war against the enemy for a just cause. But upon seeing his family on the enemy side, his rational mind became conflicted. Should I kill my family or should I perform my duty? Eventually, his ego, the primitive side of his mind, took control away from his rational mind. It went into flight mode. It made him say, it is better to run away and become a monk than to perform my duty. The inability to reconcile this conflict in his mind led to his mental breakdown in the middle of the battlefield. He could not commit to fighting, and being unable to decide, he wanted to quit. Arjun now thinks, who am I? Am I the warrior fighting for a just cause, or am I the beloved student of my teacher? If I am that warrior, I should be in the Pandav army. If I am that beloved student and relative, I should be in the Kaurav army, but I am both. I am all of these roles and much more. So what should I do? Since I don't know how to reconcile my identity, let me quit. It is the easiest option I have. Quitting is the default response of the ego. In his speech to Sri Krishna, Arjun used logic to justify his quitting the battle. This is what many of us do. We run away from our conflicts, use logic, or even God or religion, a whole host of rationalizations to justify our quitting to ourselves and to others.
Okay. And the third one, Vishali, can you only finish the third one?
Yeah. This confusion of identity is the third type of conflict, the spiritual conflict. Unless we know who we are, what God is, and what our connection to that God is, we will never be able to completely resolve all of our material and mental conflicts. This is the central theme of the first chapter. The second chapter contains Sri Krishna's response to Arjuna's misguided speech and a summary of the entire Gita. It addresses how to deal with all three types of conflicts so that we can put an end to sorrow and anxiety at their root.
Okay, thank you. The next very, very important question. Attachment can make powerful powerless. How? It can be a subjective answer, but on the basis of Gita.
I can try.
Yes, please, Sonal.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm right. When in the second chapter also, Krishna ji was telling Arjun about because Arjun expressed that he'll not be able to fight because all his forefathers are in front of him and this won't be the justice. So that moment, Krishna ji explained him that how our attachments, because you consider yourself as a I mean, not as a soul, but as someone who is being attached with the material nature. So that's where your duty as a Kshatriya, you're not able to do that. So because he was attached to his forefathers, to the religions, to his brothers, he was not able to perform what he has to. He had to fight, but he couldn't do it because of the relations that he had with his forefathers and brothers and everything. That's just mine.
Okay, you went to chapter 2, but come back to chapter 1.
Because I mean, initially also I said that when Krishna ji took him in front of his forefathers, everyone, so there he expressed all these things that I won't be able to fight because of my religions and they are my spiritual gurus, spiritual leaders. How can I find it? Will not be a sinful activity and
Come before that. From the first shloka till maybe the 12th or 13th shloka. What is happening? Yes, Marth.
So just the first chapter, right?
Hmm.
So it may be that Dhritarashtra is literally the king of the entire place that they're fighting for, and yet he has to rely on somebody like Sanjay to dictate to him what is happening.
Yeah.
So he's so attached to his sons that he needs to know what is happening, and hence he's completely dependent on Sanjay.
Yeah, imagine after having everything he could imagine, itna bada empire, soldiers, animals, golds, riches, everything. He's so powerless because he's so attached to his own son. Yes, Ayana, you want to add something?
Yeah, so this can also be said when Sanjay introduces who all are there at their team. So he mentions Ashwathama, Dronacharya, and Bhishma Pitama. He's so strong that like these three people can destroy the Pandavas army, but they're forgetting that God is not on their side. Or alone Krishna can handle the entire army, and they're ungodly because they don't have Krishna by themselves. So even though they're so powerful as warriors, they don't have Krishna's hand, so they will never win.
Yeah, this Duryodhan could never understand. Battle se pehle bhi when Krishna, Duryodhan, and Arjun were there in the same room, and Arjun was like, I want you. And Duryodhan ne kya manga? Team mangi. कि मुझे chariots दे दो, मुझे अपना पूरा टीम दे दो, बाकी मैं संभाल लूंगा. Because he never saw भगवान, उनके सामने खड़े थे all this while, and he's like, हाँ अपनी army दे दो and I'll be able to defeat Arjun and the Pandavas. Yes, Mataji, you want to add something?
Yeah, so we discussed this. Everybody is very, very correct. That attachment can make powerful king like Dhritarashtra powerless because, and we can apply it in our life also. हम भी अगर इस तरह की attachments रखते हैं, तो अगर हम देखें अपनी mundane life में भी, we become biased. We try to please our own people. Sometimes we know hearts of hearts that they are going in wrong direction. Like I said, we gave example कि अगर कोर्ट में एक जज के पास अपने बेटे का कोई क्रिमिनल केस आएगा, तो उसके लिए धर्म क्या होगा कि उसको वही सजा दे, but it can actually make him powerless. Or a surgeon doing surgery on his own child, even all the powers with this wrongful attachment, you can just go haywire in everything. So just to point out that attachment is an evil. But I'm so happy everybody has like kind of understood it. I don't know, Samarth, आपने हो सकता है आपने भगवत गीता पहले पढ़ी है, because your understanding is very, very good. But ये सारे बच्चों ने तो मेरे सामने ही पढ़ी है, तो मैं am very happy कि इनको, they are able to place things and they are able to, it's giving them a pattern to think कैसे चल रहा है सब कुछ, और जो भगवान का actually mission था समझाना.
स्मार्ट ने भी आपसे ही पढ़ा. He is listening to all the recordings.
अच्छा, नहीं, he has a good, very good grasp. आपने पढ़ा है समर्थ पहले भगवत गीता?
Not like this. I have read it, but this is something else. Yeah. So it also is a little weird because I feel I know everybody here as they are progressing in their journey, but nobody here knows me back. So that
No,
is
it's
a
okay.
bit-
No. सब जानते हैं, और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पता है आपको कौन जानते हैं? अब कृष्णा. जब कृष्णा का हम एक ही बार नाम लेते हैं तो वो हमको जान जाते हैं, वो वापस मुड़ के देख रहे हैं आपकी तरफ. सो उनका जानना इम्पोर्टेंट है.
Smart, abhi the journey has just started. We have a long way to go. We'll see you grow also. Okay, the next question. In Shlok 1.2 till 1.13, he, Duryodhana, completely overlooked whom? He's constantly talking and saying, मेरी टीम में ये है, ये चल रहा है, वो चल रहा है, इसका कोच ये है, this is the setup, that's what we will do, but he completely overlooked one. Yes, Shashti.
The God himself, Krishna, he does not talk about him even once. He's not realizing that who is on the other side.
Okay, thank you. Shashti, can you? Okay, we'll come back to you, Shashti. You're right, correct. The next question is, what were Arjuna's 5 reasons to not fight the Mahabharat war? And I remember we spent quite a lot of classes talking about this. So what were the 5 main reasons mentioned in chapter 1 only?
Before this, I think we missed a question. I think verse 12, where Bhishma Pitama was discussed. So we had discussed, and anybody can also question you, when Bhishma Pitama was such a valiant warrior, a pious person, त्यागी इतना बड़ा कि अपनी मदर के लिए ही took a vow, why was he on a wrong side? And we discussed there were internal and external reasons for him to do that. External reasons तो simple है, याद भी होंगे सबको कि नहीं याद?
So firstly, he had taken up the vow that whoever sits on the throne of Hastinapur, he is going to serve them. So that was one of the external reasons. The other external reason was that he had been, eating the salt of the Kauravas for so long. So he had to pledge his allegiance to them. Then one of the internal reasons was because he had, so we discussed different ras rases that are there. So out of we had discussed the 5 main ones, then there are 7 other secondary, there's a lot of rases. So he had this Veer Ras towards him. He wanted to fight Bhagwan, and Bhagwan always grants whichever ras we want from him to us, in whichever form we want association with him, he grants it to us. So that was one internal reason. And the other internal reason was that Bhagwan wanted to show us that he was so powerful, but he was on the side of Adharm. So this is one thing that we were supposed to learn from this, that even though Adharm ka side is so strong, ki Bhishma Pitama is there, fir bhi Dharm will still win.
Very good. Very good. Very rightly remember that. बैलेंस आउट कर ली. अगर अकेला दुर्योधन होता और फिर हार जाता तो वो मैसेज ही नहीं जाता जो महाभारत का मैसेज जाना चाहिए था. उनको स्ट्रॉन्ग करने के लिए, उनकी टीम को स्ट्रॉन्ग करने के लिए भगवान ने ऐसे प्लान किया. एंड अ प्योर डिवोटी विल जस्ट एक्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू द लॉर्ड. चाहे वो कितने भी पायस थे, उनको भगवान के हिसाब से चलना था. And we also discussed at that time when we were discussing these about Sant Gyaneshwar, कैसे उनके father संन्यास लेने के बाद भगवान के कहने पे he had to he got into grihastha. So जो true pure devotee of the Lord, he always acts according to the wish. So good you remember the internal reason. Everybody is clear? ये समझ आया सबको? ये बहुत important part है, क्योंकि बहुत लोग ये question करते हैं कि भीष्म पितामह को क्या जरूरत थी, अगर इतने अधर्मी थे तो क्यों जाके अधर्मियों के साथ बैठे, क्यों वो चुप रहे वहां पे सभा में, क्यों चुप रहे. तो कई बार भगवान की स्क्रिप्ट में कई चीजें इसलिए होती हैं कि आगे जाके उसका एक निष्कर्ष निकलना होता है. Yeah, now you can move on.
Okay, coming back to the question, what were the 5 reasons?
I want to say something.
She wants to answer this.
Okay.
Okay, Ayana, go. Let Pankhuri, last time also you answered to. Achha, no, Pankhuri also answered. Chalo, you go. Next.
So from verse 27 onwards.
Wait. Anchal, let Anchal answer.
Okay, I don't, whatever I remember, I'll just say that. So first is compassion towards the kinsmen, the family members and everyone who are against Arjuna in the battlefield. Second is maybe like if he'll kill everyone, then what will he enjoy? There is loss of enjoyment, so there is nothing, there won't be anything left to rule on. Then won't it be wrong, sinful to kill the family members, or the kinsmen and all the relatives who are related to him? Won't it be wrong? Won't it be sinful? And unwanted progeny, that if everyone will be killed, then the progeny will, the women's will be left, and then anyone can take over them, and then the progeny will be destroyed. Then I think I just remember this much.
Okay, good. 9 on 10. Very good. Can you read, and then we'll find out the last one.
So first, compassion. Arjuna was full of compassion, although a fearsome warrior, yet kind-hearted, a dear friend of Krishna and a well-wisher of all. He did not want war. Arjuna shuddered at the thought that he will be fighting to kill his own family members. The thought of shooting across towards Bhishma, his great-grandfather, and Dronacharya, his guru, sacred, scared him. He kept on remembering his childhood days when he would sit on the lap of Bhishma. Bhishma loved him so much. He just couldn't accept the thought of killing him. Arjuna was one of the greatest archers. No one could face him in the battle. Arjuna could also please Lord Shiva with his archery skills, and all this was only possible because of Dronacharya, the great material teacher, martial teacher. Dronacharya loved Arjuna like his own son and had put in his best efforts to make Arjuna the best archer of the world. These thoughts filled Arjuna's heart with compassion. He lost his composure. He was torn apart internally at this hour of crisis. He turned towards Krishna, his friend, his ever well-wisher, and said, "My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandhiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning." In Bhagavad Gita 1.29. Then I'm now unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. But then 1.30. Then I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. 1.31. That's the third reason.
Okay, you can read this also. Enjoyment.
Enjoyment. Arjuna further said that even if I am victorious still, I won't be able to enjoy the kingdom. To win the war, I will have to kill my own family members. The kingdom will be soaked with the blood of my family members. My adorable grandfather, Bhishma, Guru Drona, who is like my father, and my uncles, brothers, all will be killed. In their absence, even if I win, still I will be a loser. Fame and fortune cannot be enjoyed alone. To enjoy it, we need to share it. But if they are killed, then with whom I will share my joy? Arjuna said, O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? 1.32 to 35.
Okay. Riva, can you read the third and the fourth reason?
Fearful of sinful reactions. Killing is a sinful activity. If we kill others, we will incur sins. Sins will lead to suffering. I understand that Duryodhan and his ilks are aggressors. They are ruffians. So what? If they are acting impiously, then should we also act irreligiously? What will be the difference between them and us? If like them, we engage in this ghastly war and kill the enemies, then we will be committing sins. So it will be better, Krishna, if I do not fight. O Janardhan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Bhagavad Gita 37 to 38. Destruction of dynasty. When all the assembled warriors will be killed, then what will happen to their families? Who will give protection to the elders of the family? Children will become orphans. Women will be unprotected. If the elders of the family are not there, then who will guide the younger generation? In absence of poor guidance, dynasty will be destroyed. And destruction of the dynasty will create chaos in this society and bring great disaster. Consequences of destruction of the dynasty. Bhagavad Gita 1.39 to 1.43. With the destruction of dynasty, family tradition is destroyed. When family tradition is destroyed, then family members start practicing irreligion. And when irreligion increases, then women of the family become polluted. When women become polluted, there is unwanted progeny. Unwanted progeny causes hellish life for the family and for those who are responsible for destroying family tradition. These unwanted population will not follow religious traditions, because of which ancestors fall down because no one is there to offer them food and water, i.e. Pind Dan is stopped. Community projects and family welfare activities also stop. Arjun contemplated that destruction of the dynasty will bring calamity upon all. He said, Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. Bhagavad Gita 1.43. Arjun did not want hellish life for anyone, and he did not want to be the cause of hellish for others. Expressing his anguish, Arjun said, better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. 1.45.
Okay. Ayana, you want to answer the fifth reason now?
So, one second, what all have we covered? So destruction, ancestors falling down, I think we have done. And the last one was, forgot, just a second.
Performance anxiety. Passion.
Enjoyment. Fear of sinful reactions. Okay, we have done that.
And
Destruction of dynasty and just a second.
you have 5 seconds and then it goes to Pankadi.
Oh my God.
Okay, Pankadi.
Yes, please.
Oh, both of you were raising hands.
No, they are not completely wrong because fifth reason is covered in chapter 2, and they are like, she's just trying to trap you, girls. Don't worry.
Okay, Ayana, you can read it.
Oh, I was just about to say indecisiveness. Okay.
Dekh liya tha. I saw you.
Arjun gave reasons as why he did not want to fight the Mahabharat war, but still he did not know if this war was the right decision. He was confused. He was not convinced by his own argument. Bewildered and undecided, he turned towards Krishna and expressed the feelings of his heart. Oh Krishna, I do not know what is better for me. I see that the sons of Dhritarashtra standing before me, but whether I should conquer them or be conquered by them, I don't know. Bhagavad Gita 2.6. Arjun was thinking, why to be a part of unnecessary violence? If Duryodhan was so adamant to be the king, let he be the king. I can live by begging. But he also knew that Duryodhan was cruel. He had committed so many sins. All these considerations by Arjun definitely proved that not only he was a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. Bhagavad Gita 2.6 purport.
Okay. Yeah, this was covered in chapter 2, but Mataji had explained in chapter 1 only. Okay. Which verse did the hero enter? Very, very important. And first half is who is the hero? Who is the hero and which verse did the hero enter in Bhagavad Gita? Yes, Sonal, please.
Hey, we are talking about Krishna ji.
Very good. 10 on 10.
And chapter 2, text 2, Krishna Vacha.
Yeah, okay. Shashi, you want to add something?
Is it in chapter 2 or in chapter 1 only?
That you will tell us.
1.14, I guess.
Okay. Very good.
Then,
Yeah. Please read. Thank you.
Okay. तथा श्वेतर हयार युक्ते महाति शयंदने स्थितौ माधवा पांडवा चैव दिव्यौ शंखौ प्रदद्मथौ. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna stationed on the great chariot drawn by the white horses sounded their transcendental conch shells.
Okay. Sonal, you were right. It was just a trick question. He enters in this one, and the shlok that you mentioned was the first shlok he spoke in. So you get a point too. That's correct. Okay. Next question. What is the name of everyone's Shankh? Name of Krishna's, Arjun, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Sahadev, and Nakul's Shankh? And why was the Shankh called Divya? And yes, you can refer to your notes, Ayana.
I know only Arjun, I think, and Bhim.
Okay, you can help us with that.
I think Bhim's was Ponder. I know Yudhishthir's Devdutt, and I am blanking on Arjun's now.
Okay, you can.
Devdutt is Arjun's. Devadatta Dhananjaya. Krishna ka nahi yaad.
I only know Krishna's. Panchanjanyam. Panchan. I know the spellings. I don't know the exact pronunciation, but it's Panchanjan. Yeah, sorry. Janya.
Yeah. Panchajanya Krishna, Devadatta Arjun, Pondra Bhim, Ananta Vijaya Yudhishthira, Mani Pushpaka Nakul, and Sughosha of Sahadev. Okay.
If somebody has to remember the verses for chapter 1, I would say verse 1, verse 14, verse 15, and also when, he took the chariot in front of them, 21, 22.
Okay, we'll take another 5-7 minutes. Why did Krishna call Arjun Parth? Yes, Pankari ma'am.
Because Kunti, before she was adopted by Kunti Bhoj, she was called Pritha. That was her actual name. So that's why son of Pritha is Parth.
Okay, very good. Next question. The meaning of word Govind, Madhusudan, and Janardhan. This should be trivia with Ayana and Pankari. Okay. Yes, Vishnu.
Madhusudan because he killed the demon Madhu.
Good.
And Govind because he used to with the cows. So
Yes.
Janardhan, I don't know.
Okay, you can read for us.
Govinda means master of the senses or someone who satisfies the senses. Madhusudna means the slayer of Madhu, Asur, Rakshas. Janardhan means he who is the original abode and protector of all living beings.
Okay.
So Vaishali was right. Govinda can also mean master of cows because go means also senses and cows. Gopal, no, friend of the.
Okay. Very, very important question, and the last one for today. Why Krishna did not speak anything in chapter 1? It's the starting of Bhagavad Gita, the most important chapter. Why wasn't he speaking? Yes, Shashti.
Because he wanted us to first recognize what the problems are, and then firstly he wanted us to know, then only we can solve it. And this also shows the sign of a good leader or a mentor. That's why.
You wanted me to answer. No?
You can answer.
Acha, you asked me to unmute. So what I remember from one of the like Amrinder Das Prabhuji mentioned this somewhere. He said that the most important the most important chapter in Bhagavad Gita is the first chapter because it shows how a person who's so defeated in life, how he gives up and unka last hope is only Bhagwan. So to reach that point, we have to lay out everything that we're conflicted about, everything that we're so unsure about. If we don't surrender, Krishna won't be able to help us. So the most important lesson that we can learn from chapter 1 is that Arjun is laying out all of the conflicts, but he surrenders in chapter 2, but he's laying out all the conflicts that he has in his mind.
Yeah, this is a sign of a very, very good teacher also. A good teacher always listens instead of just talking and, sharing everything that he or she knows. The first thing that a good teacher would do would just be listening to you. And once you've surrendered, that's when the teacher will start helping you. And that's exactly what Krishna did. जब अर्जुन ने अपने हाथ उठा लिया और बोल दिया बस, now I don't know what to do. You guide me. You tell me what to do. Please. That's when he started talking. Yeah. Okay. This was it for chapter 1. I think we'll have to give another class for chapter 2. Mataji, if you want to add something, or anyone, if you want to ask something, you can.
I have a question. I'm sorry. So I just recently started chanting And I have a question. What do you like imagine while chanting? Or if there is not a definitive answer, what do multiple people imagine while chanting? Because it is very difficult to stay in one scene per se while chanting. And matlab this I want to know how to and what to imagine while chanting.
अभी इमेजिन का तो मुझे नहीं पता, बट यस ये है कि आगे जाके जैसे जैसे भगवान की लीला आप पढ़ते हो, कोई भी लीला का ध्यान कर सकते हो, भगवान के रूप का ध्यान कर सकते हो, भगवान के धाम का ध्यान कर सकते हो. बट इनिशियली like I was telling Shrashti also the other day, chanting is going to be the most challenging of all the activities to please Krishna. But it is the most effective. It is because इसमें this is only one activity जिसमें आपको कोई सुख नहीं मिल रहा, आप भगवान को सुख दे रहे हो, completely उनके सुख के लिए कर रहे हो. इसीलिए ये सबको बहुत बोरिंग भी लगती है चैंटिंग करना, क्योंकि मतलब ऐसा लगता है ना कि चलो कुछ पढ़ लूं, शास्त्र पढ़ लो या सेवा कर लो मंदिर में, या भजन गा लो या भजन कीर्तन सुन लो. बट चैंटिंग बहुत बोरिंग लगती है, क्योंकि सिर्फ एक प्रोसेस है जिसमें आपका मन मरता है, और मन को ही मारना यहाँ से निकलने का एकमात्र उपाय है. तो मन मरता है, और वो मन को मरना बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है, क्योंकि मन ने हमेशा हम पे रूल किया है. दिस इज वन टाइम व्हेन वी आर टेलिंग मन, ओके कीप क्वाइट, आई हैव टू प्लीज कृष्णा. एंड बट बिलीव मी, ट्रस्ट मी, when you'll get hooked on to it, जब आपने इस पे अपने मन को, मन आगे जाके भगवान बताएंगे भी कि मन हमारा हमारे हिसाब से चलने लगता है. मन की गति बड़ी सिंपल है. ये तो हम अभी हार मान लेते हैं तो वो जीत जाता है, जब हम जीतने लगेंगे वो हार मानता है. एंड देन चैंटिंग विल बिकम द मोस्ट फुलफिलिंग एक्सपीरियंस फॉर यू, बिकॉज उसके लिए आपको कुछ और चाहिए ही नहीं है. फिर शादी में बैठे हो, पार्टी में बैठे हो, क्लास में बैठे हो, नाम चल रहा है, काम हो रहा है, कोई उसके लिए पैराफर्नेलिया नहीं चाहिए, कोई वेशभूषा नहीं चाहिए, कोई ऐसा नहीं कि नहाए होने चाहिए. कहीं बैठे हो, कोई सामने बोरिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन हो रही है, आपकी भक्ति शुरू अपने आप से. सो बट वंस यू मास्टर इट, बट ठीक है, स्टार्टिंग हो जाएगी तो मास्टर भी हो जाएगा, बिकॉज टेस्ट आना शुरू हो जाएगा धीरे धीरे. अभी आपको जो ध्यान में आता है, अभी तो दुनिया ही ध्यान में आएगी, क्योंकि दुनिया ही ध्यान में बैठी है ना. अभी तो सारी वो चीजें आएंगी, फिर आप ऐसे ऐसे मिटाओगे कि नहीं नहीं ये नहीं सोचना भगवान. बट आने दो, जब चैंटिंग होगी ना, ये सारे एक्चुअली जो ख्याल आते हैं, बुरे बुरे ख्याल, लॉट ऑफ पीपल आस्क मी, वो जा रहे होते हैं, वो आपके अंदर से निकल रहे होते हैं. आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप सोच रहे हो उनके बारे में, बट नो, अनर्थ निवृत्ति होती है. अनर्थ जा रहे हैं, जाते हुए आपको दिख रहे हैं. फिर somebody can ask कि वो बार बार क्यों दिखते हैं, क्योंकि वो अनर्थ जन्मों में कितनी बार किए होंगे ये भी आपको पता नहीं होगा. बहुत बुरे से बुरा ख्याल भी आ सकता है चैंटिंग करते वक्त, बट दे आर एक्चुअली पासिंग आउट, निकल रहे हैं, उनकी जगह खत्म हो रही है. आपका झाड़ू लग रहा है कमरे में, योर सोल इज गेटिंग क्लेंस्ड. तो जब हम झाड़ू लगाते हैं, सबसे पहले क्या होता है, मिट्टी उड़ती है, और ज्यादा गंदा लगने लगता है. बट इफ द क्लीनर सिट्स थिंकिंग कि ओ इतनी मिट्टी उड़ गई, तो फिर तो वो जगह कभी क्लीन नहीं होगी ना. बट इफ यू कंटिन्यूअसली कीप ऑन स्वीपिंग, तो एक दिन वो जगह एकदम खाली हो जाएगी. तो ये आसन तैयार हो रहा है भगवान को बिठाने का. So good, it was quite a refreshing thing that we could just with lot of top performers today. In fact, I'm very happy Shrashti, Shiva, who are very very recent, Samarth very recently, and they participated so much. Very good. I think I'm still left with couple of questions which I wanted to, but I think now the time is done, so let's keep it on second. Next Friday we'll do the summary of chapter 2, and for homework I'll leave you with 2 questions. One is, what is dharma? And second, in the first chapter we discussed that starkly 2 people were blind. Who? Dhritarashtra, and who's the other one? Duryodhan. But we also discussed 3 kinds of blindness that we experienced. We did it in one class. So who is the third person who's blind according to chapter 1, and what kind of blindness? So ये homework हो जाएगा, इसको हम करेंगे, और फिर second फटाफट से रिवाइज कर लेंगे और अच्छे से पढ़कर आना। सेकेंड चैप्टर इज वेरी 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 लोडेड और उसके बहुत सारे अच्छे वर्सेस हैं। वील बी वेरी हैप्पी टू सी पीपल रिसाइटिंग देम, या especially 2.7, 2.11, 2.12, 2.14, my favorite 2.14. So अगर आप लोग याद करोगे ये वर्सेस बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्टिव होंगे आपके लिए. And last thing, what Niyati said about being a good teacher and why didn't Krishna spoke, that we can also learn a lesson from that point. Like lot of people, we get really excited when we started doing bhakti. हमारे पास बहुत सारा मटेरियल नया नया आ जाता है, डेटा आ जाता है और हमारा मन करता है कि अब ये सबको बताएं. एक तो जनरली व्हेन यू स्टार्ट टेकिंग द नेम ऑफ कृष्णा, एक भक्तों के अंदर एक अलग तरह का कंपैशन आ जाता है. उनका मन करता है कि सब भक्त बन जाए, ये अपना जीवन सुधार ले, मेरा तो सुधर रहा है, इनका भी सुधर जाए. So we want to, like, you know, I remember in the beginning I used to like hold on to people on the street के रोक रोक के एक एक को बता दूं कि भाई ये कर लो, क्या कर रहे हो. But that's not the right way. ऐसे ही इसीलिए भगवान को आचार्य कहा जाता है, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपने आचरण से दिखाया कि जब तक अर्जुन बिल्कुल गिर नहीं गए और उन्होंने सबमिसिवली सवाल नहीं किया, भगवान ने कुछ नहीं बताया, सब कुछ चलने दिया. He kept on saying पितृ लुप्त हो जाएंगे, मैं नहीं लड़ता, ये हो जाएगा, मैं नहीं लड़ता, क्या मिलेगा, वरण संकर हो जाएगा, सारे रीजन दे दिए फर्स्ट चैप्टर में. भगवान कुछ नहीं बोलो, बोलो 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 बोलो. सो वी कैन ऑल्सो लर्न that let's wait for the right kind of people to ask you the question. Like if there is a change in your life, आपका कोई friend आके आपको ऐसे approach करता है कि what are you doing, like I'm really curious, फिर भी wait करो. But don't submit yourself to people जो आके बोले क्या हो रहा है, ये क्या start कर लिया, ये नया ड्रामा, कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला, ये तो बुढ़ापे में करना होता है. So you can say yes, thank you so much, I'll think about it. And do not start saying पता है कृष्णा ईश्वर परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिर आदिर गोविंदा, पता भी है तुमको, मैंने अभी फर्स्ट चैप्टर में पढ़ लिया है. So you'll be excited to tell, but then wait for the right audience. इसीलिए भगवान रुके थे. और यही एक अपराध है जो सबसे हो सकता है. भगवान ने ऑर्डर दिया है भगवत गीता के एंड में कि ये ज्ञान सिर्फ उसको देना जो इसको समझना चाहता है. बट दैट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द लॉर्ड एंड द डिवोटीज ऑफ द लॉर्ड. वी आर वेरी कंपैशनेट, वी स्टिल वांट टू गिव इट टू पीपल, बट एज अ वर्ड ऑफ कॉशन आई जस्ट wanted to, because मैं अपने, मेरा तो दो सेंट की नॉलेज ही है, अभी थोड़ा सा ही जो एक्सपीरियंस है वही मैं आपके साथ शेयर कर देती हूँ कि क्योंकि उससे थोड़ा सा अभी बिगिनिंग है ना, अभी दोनों तरफ जा सकते हैं हम. तो ज्यादा किसी जैसे सत्संग का हमने प्रभाव पड़ा है तो कुसंग का भी है, तो कुसंग से दूर रहे, कम से कम बात करें, भगवान और अपने रिलेशनशिप को अपने अंदर छुपा के रखो. दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी प्राइवेट अफेयर. जैसे गर्ल्स एंड बॉयज इनिशियली व्हेन यू नो यू स्टार्ट डेटिंग और मीटिंग समबडी, ऐसे थोड़ी पेरेंट्स को रोज जाके बताते हो आज हमने क्या बात की. आज you want to hide it, you know, till you come to a level when you can introduce your whatever the other person. इसी तरह भगवान के साथ भी जब तक अपना रिश्ता एकदम पक ना हो जाए ना, तब तक किसी को नहीं पता, क्योंकि कोई भी हिला जाएगा, नहीं नहीं कृष्णा नहीं है, शिवा है, क्या कर रहे हो आप, शिव जी हैं सबसे बड़े, कोई आके बोल जाएगा हनुमान जी हैं. The other day I met somebody said माता रानी is the biggest. It's okay. कोई किसी की नॉलेज को, we are nobody to judge, but अपने रिलेशन को हाइड इट इन योर हार्ट. दिस इज योर पर्सनल रिलेशन. आप 16 माला करते हो, 20 करते हो, 50 करते हो, क्या जरूरत है किसी को बताने की. मतलब डिवोटीज के साथ शेयर कर सकते हो टू इंस्पायर देम, बट नॉट विद अदर्स. या सो ओके, आई विल टॉक लेस.
Mataji, I had a question. So the blindness wala question that you asked, we discussed this in chapter 2 na, like the initial verses.
नहीं, फर्स्ट में ही आ गया था कि हु इज द थर्ड, किसके कैरेक्टर में सबसे ज्यादा ब्लाइंडनेस दिख रही थी हमें इन दोनों के अलावा.
Okay.
आंसर भी दे दो.
हाँ, मतलब I have an answer in mind. I don't know if I'm correct, but it's Arjun. He was blinded by attachment.
Yes. So एक तो होमवर्क खराब हो गया.
Sorry. I thought I was wrong.
पर ठीक है, इस पे पॉन्डर किया जा सकता है कि वाई एक अटैचमेंट और एक दो और भी चीजें हैं जो उनकी इस पर्सनालिटी में दिखी बिकॉज ऑफ एंड व्हाट हैज हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ अटैचमेंट, कौन से रॉन्ग पॉइंट्स वी हैड डिस्कस देम. सो एक बार बस रिविजन, क्विक रिविजन हो जाएगा फॉर न्यू पीपल, दे विल आल्सो. बट सोचो, क्योंकि वही गलतियां हम भी करते हैं. अर्जुन हमारे लिए तो कर रहे हैं, अर्जुन वैसे तो नर नारायण ऋषि हैं, तो नर नारायण में से नर हैं, तो वो हमारे लिए उन्होंने सारा ये रोल लेकर ऐसे कभी घबरा रहे हैं, कभी गांडीव गिर रहा है उनका बेचारों का, उनके पास ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था, उन्होंने सिर्फ एक्टिंग की है हमारे लिए. सो वी शुड एटलीस्ट स्टडी हिज कैरेक्टर वेल टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ वी बिहेव. ठीक है, और कोई क्वेश्चन? गुड गुड, वेरी गुड. No question is also a good thing. पर वैसे क्वेश्चंस होने चाहिए, क्योंकि मैंने बताया था ना कौन सबसे ज्यादा फायदा किसको मिलता है किसी भी शास्त्र को पढ़ने का. किसको मिलता है पंखुड़ी?
जो क्वेश्चंस पूछता है ज्यादा.
एक तो जो बोल रहा होता है उसको तो मिलता ही है. सो
And
फर्स्ट, सेकंड, एंड जो साइलेंट लिसनर है वो थर्ड. सो अब देख लो, जिसको फर्स्ट आना है वो जल्दी जल्दी क्लास लेनी शुरू कर दे. जैसे आज नियति ने लिया, सो वेरी वेल डन नियति. शी समराइज्ड इट वेरी वेल एंड बच भी गई आंसर्स देने को, बिकॉज उसको सारे आंसर्स पहले ही पता थे. सो बट सेकंड चैप्टर आई थिंक आई not give this duty so that I can ask her few questions as well. So okay, good बच्चे. करे वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Just smart, stay back. To help you with chanting, if you have a vigraha or a painting at your place, you can just meditate on that also. I remember that's what I used to do in the initial stage. I just used to imagine the lotus feet of Bhagwan and then him wearing different colored anklets and then his legs and then moving up to his knees and then his thighs and then his waist and just imagining while chanting. So हर round में I used to imagine something different and different स्वरूप of भगवान. कभी मधुसूदन imagine कर लिया, कभी राधा रमन कर लिया, कभी मदन मोहन कर लिया. So you can either open paintings या अगर घर पे कुछ है then you can refer to that. It's very helpful and फिर chant करने में मजा भी आता है. It's not boring. Then you can also imagine Maya Yashoda and Krishna doing the Damodar Leela, different Leelas, just closing your eyes and imagining what's happening. So that can be nice and easy. Maybe you can try that this week.
All right. Also, one thing that I was doing was, so I recently read about these 5 relationships only, na? So usme, as a conjugal lover, as a friend, as a parent, so I tried to imagine little scenes where I am playing that Leela with him as that. So I don't know if that's correct or not.
There's nothing right and nothing wrong here. You can, that is the entire point of Bhagavad Gita. No, हमने second slide में पढ़ा, to find our Swaroop. What relation do we share with Krishna? Maybe when I think about Krishna, मेरे दिमाग में और मेरे मन में बस servitude आता है. So I see him as Dasya Ras. Maybe Pankhuri सोचती होगी सखा की तरह, playing with Kana. So whatever you can relate with any rasa and then meditate and chant, that is a very high level. But if you can do that, then nothing like it. But there's nothing wrong in it.
और सबकी एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन हमारी स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में ऑलरेडी हमारा एक इटर्नल रिलेशन है भगवान के साथ. अभी हम भूले बैठे हैं. कभी कभी मुझे लगता है और जैसे मैंने आचार्य की वाणी भी, कि थोड़ा सा सेंस हमें मिलने लगता है व्हेन वी स्टार्ट डूइंग चैंटिंग. जैसे नियति ने बताया कि उनको दास से फील होता है, बट इट मे और मे नॉट बी राइट एट दिस स्टेज, बिकॉज अभी हम किसी लेवल पे नहीं है. बट अगर जो सेंस हो रही है दैट कैन बी और मे नॉट बी, बट इवेंचुअली आपके जब स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर आते हैं तो वो ही रिवील्स इट फॉर यू व्हाट इज योर रिलेशनशिप, और आप पहुंच ही जाते हो उसी आप जुड़ जाओगे उस संप्रदाय से या उस गुरु से जिस रस में आपने हमेशा से उनको सर्व किया है।
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. See you on Monday.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you.